Hi my friends, it's Ian here again. What's Ian been buying this time? Well, you know I've been moaning just lately about going camping. The weather's been atrocious, we've had snow, we've had all sorts. Now, I don't want to go on about bad backs. I really don't want to go on about bad backs, but I still love my camping, but find it a problem carrying a big backpack and no matter how light I make it, I'm walking about 5 to 10 miles and pitching a tent. Okay, now I've got one or two friends that own property where I can go and pitch a tent, but not quite the same. However, having said that, what I need to keep on now personally, because of this back problem, I need a bed around about the height of this box. Okay, so that's about what, I don't know, 14, 16 inches high, and I've got a cot, and you know from a previous video that I bought myself a cot tent. So you put the cot up and then a tent actually straps to the top of it. But when you're in the middle of a field and there's no protection, the wind, because it's about 60 something wide and it's tall, about 5 foot tall, the wind is knocking it, and it's got guy out points on it, but it's a bit hairy, and I'm not 100% sure if it's waterproof or not. So we had a word with the committee, and the committee okayed it, the wife, and I bought myself something that I would be really comfortable in, I believe, and that is a hot tent. This is from One Tigress, or One Tigress, I like to call it One Tigress, okay? And it's called, let me think, a Rock Fortress, and it's a teepee tent. So I was going to start this video by saying, what tent is 10 foot across at the bottom and 1 inch at the top? And you would have thought, somebody said this actually, a useless tent, but it's not. It's like that. So it's 1 inch at the top and it's about 10 foot at the bottom, something like that. The width of this room, okay? So that's what I've gone and bought. So let me just show you a little bit. Now the wife got impatient and she took this out of the box, and I'm supposed to be doing an unboxing video. So there you go. Now this may be a bit noisy. These are aluminium poles. You get one pole straight up the middle on this. Okay, and it comes in a bag that has got what we call molly on them. Okay, so they're like little things, loops of webbing that you can attach things to. Now this comes in handy when you put these poles together. I'm going to try and cut this noise down. Okay, and they go together like this, and they are absolutely strong, these are. Okay, and now this, which is not the top one, but you can slide this onto the top one. Okay, you're out of shot, be professionally. Okay, and then you can strap things to it, like your light. The wife's got this thing of coming with me, so she's really excited about this particular tent. And she wants to put lights all the way down the pole. I don't know. So anyway, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's about 2 meters high, just over 2 meters. So we'll leave them to one side. This is the actual tent itself, and I love the material that One Tigress make. It's a nylon, and it's a ripstop nylon, and I think it's coated both sides with silicone. So it is a bit awkward to handle sometimes. It's quite slippy. Okay, so that is the actual tent itself. I've still got all my labels on. I like to keep the labels on where I can. It weighs 4K. Okay, so this is a car tent to me, and especially with this baby underneath in the box, and we'll show you that in a moment. There's the pegs. I do like their pegs. I think they're strong. They could do with being made a little bit longer. So that's what their pegs look like. About 6 inches, and they are what I call tri-blade. That's right. Can you see that? I don't want to come too close. I don't know if you can see that at all. Okay, and they've got a piece of I think it's Dyleema or something on the top. Now these knots come apart, so what I want to do is either put a bit of super glue on there or warm it up so that it melts together. Now this is useful not just for pulling out, but you can, if you've got a bit of soft ground, it enables you to double peg them. Okay, so what you can do, always put your pegs in, you know this, my dad taught me this, 45 degrees angle, not like that, to hold a tent up. You want it so there's more ground resistance, okay? And then what you can do with this is double peg them. So this particular peg, if you're double pegging, can be upright because it's pulling against this way. But that one needs to be in a 45 degree angle on your tie-out points on guy ropes or on your tie-out points on your tent itself. This one can be upright, so therefore you can double peg it. So it would look like that in the ground, okay? So that, I like them. And then there is the, in there, look, we've got all the guy ropes to attach once I put it up. So hopefully the next time you see this tent, I need really to get used to putting a teepee tent up. Tunnel tents are okay. You know, most tents are easy enough, but this is quite a tall baby and I want to know if I can put it up on my own. So we should be putting this up in the garden, I think. That makes sense. Try everything out in the garden first. Now then, putting that to one side. What have we got here? Let's get mine. In a hot tent. Now what is a hot tent, by the way, for some novices, some of the people that follow me? It is a tent with a hole in the roof that can be sealed to keep the weather out, or to put a chimney through. So it's a hot tent because you have a wood burner in it, or some form of heating. You can get gas fires, but you can also get diesel heaters, which I have got, but I've given that on long-term lending to my son to warm his room up where he's got his pool table, sorry. So anyway, so let's have a look at this stove now. So, tell you what, if you ever get a tent and you're unboxing it, don't go too deep with that blade. Be careful what you're doing. Okay, so Amazon boxes tend to come twice the size of the item that's in it. I don't think that's the case with this one. So there you go. We have some lovely foam with a hole in it. So let's have a look what that's for. Here's my destructions. Now this is not a fold up one, I don't need it because like I say, I'll use this and load this lot up in my car. There'll be a table that I'll put in there, there'll be my cot that I put in there, or 2 cots, one for me, one for the wife. There'll be this, there'll be the tent and cooking utensils, that sort of thing. But this looks quite nice. Now some of them, if you see them online and in Amazon, they come plain old stainless steel, whatever. But this one is actually black. Now I've no idea what this is for. Oh, I do. I know what this is for. Yes, I do, because it's missing off there. So this is the little lid that goes over the fire, because you can actually take this lid off, and I'll show you a bit more in a minute. I'm going to need my knife in a minute. Right, so here it is. More padding. So this is actually a bit bigger than the one I sent for the other day. I sent for one and it came too small, half the size of this, which would be rubbish. Now this, from memory, has some little legs on the bottom, so let me have a look at that. Yes, and I bet they're tough. Yeah, and I tell you something, watch your hands on these guys. If you ever bought one, oh my, because they don't finish them properly. There's the little touches, and they've been riveted on. Not very strong. In fact, there's a bit of wobble on there, but they can be replaced or riveted properly. There's the front of it. These are carrying handles, by the way. I'll tell you what I will do in a second. I'll get my now these can fold out. Hope you can see this all right, guys. So these fold out so that when you're cooking something on there, you can drop it on here to keep it warm, and put some pans on it, whatever. So inside here is a pair of gloves, which is good. They're kind of like a new book. Yeah, they are. So these will be great for sawing the wood up as well, and they're actually lined, so that's nice. Now I do know some of these you can get collapsible roll up chimneys, and they are sharp, and they would supply some gloves. These actually fit me. I've got quite big hands. Oh, this one's a bit tight, but that's all right. I'll be all right for opening this up when it's hot, and also for sawing logs to go on it. So that's the gloves. And then what we've got is a number of chimneys. Now that one looks as though it's, let's have a look. We'll get them all out, because I think there is, what do you call it? A choke on this one, is that what you call it? We've actually got 7 by the look of this. A damper, that's what I'm looking for. So that one there, look you. That helps it to draw. Okay, so the more air that's coming through the front, and this being wide open, there's more air going through it, and it'll make a roaring fire. That one must go on the bottom or somewhere there, and then we just keep on adding these, and boy, I don't know which way these go actually. Shall we play with that in a minute? No, we'll play with it now. So the wide bit, these are actually quite nice. These are better than the one I ordered before that was too small. Right, how many more we've got? We've got 2 more. So that goes in there, and that goes up on the top. I've got to stand up now. It's a better size fire, that is, and that should keep that. Right, so let me just show you that. That is above my head. So, can you see that, guys? Sorry about my TV. Okay, and I've got one more thing that I bought the other day that I'm hoping fits this. So there we have it. So let's just do let me just fetch something to put on the top of this. Okay guys, so I bought this to go on to the top bolt, and this is what you call a spark arrestor. So it is for the sparks that are coming out the top. You don't want to go in on your tent, and it is not quite the size that I wanted. So what I'll do, I'll get my brother to make me a little bit of tubing. It might, oh, I don't know. I think because of all this paint, it's quite thick, this is. So it might go in there. So we'll have a play with that another time. But I'll bring you down here. Okay, my friends, I'll bolt you down so you can see this. Okay, so we've got the gloves here. And we've got this little round thing here that sits on the top. Let me just bring that up. Can you see that? We get a little tool for undoing it, for taking it off, so you can drop a pan straight directly on top of the flames. There will be a competition to see who can pick this up, I'll tell you. Right, there was another packet for the glass that sits in the front. I was a bit skeptical about this, but this looks good. I saw one guy struggling to get this fastened, but this one works perfect. So it's got a little ring on there so you don't burn your hand, but we have got the gloves. This is your air in, okay, and this one here regulates the chimney draft. Okay, so the more air that's going in there and up the chimney, the hotter this will get. And we've got quite a lot of room in there, I think, for wood. Let me just have a peep in there and get my head. Right, and now this goes on the bottom. So the ash will go down to the bottom. Great. The wife thought this was to come up here so you can cook on the top, but I said no dear. No dear, it's not for that. So it's made of stainless steel. As I say, it's a little bit sharp in places. It's really well made. The welding and everything is really, really good. So what I'm going to do now, I think, I'm just going to measure the dimensions. Now this, as I say, will not fit, but I think my brother, with his engineering skills, a big hammer, and whatever else he needs, can reduce that. So I think all it needs, and this is the spark arrestor, it needs to go on the top. Same colour, same sort of thing. I think this is like an exhaust. I used to have a trials bike a long time ago, and I used to have to paint the exhaust now and again black, and I think this is it, heat. We used to call it hot paint, but there you go. So put a couple of splits down that and push it in a bit. That should go on top of the chimney nice. We don't want no sparks on the tent. Now I'm going to measure this, so let me just get my tape measure. The other one was absolute rubbish. It was 10 inches long, and this is 14.5 inches long. It is 7 and let's have a look, 7 and 7/8. Okay, and it is this way. Let's have a look, see what you make it. Again, 7 and 7/8. Excellent. And the chimney, let's have a look at this. You won't be able to see me doing this. You'll have to take my word. From the top of the stove, this is important, because it's got to go through that roof of the tent. So if I put that on there and go up there, so without that spark arrestor on it, it is 1 80 or 70 inches. Let's have a look. 70 inches or 1.8 centimetres. 180 centimetres. 1,800 millimetres. And there's my little thing for getting that off. You can feed sticks in the top, but some people take that off and have the the flames licking the bottom of the pan. But that's big. Let me just have a look at that and I'll measure my, yes, okay, so 7 7/8. So there we have it. That's a brilliant little tool. And that, believe it or not, will keep me, whoops, toasty. I just want to have a look at something else as well. Let me get down with my moaning poorly back. Now then, sometimes it can get a bit hot cooking straight on the top. Yeah, does that make sense? Let me just move the camera a little bit. But when you put that across like that, you can put your pan on there so it's not directly touching there. And if you want, you can do it on there to get it a bit further away. So that is ideal. So what I'm going to do now, stop this, and the next time you see this, I am hoping it is in the garden for testing. And the sun has just come out, but I'm not going to do it today. I shall wait for my son to turn up. Where are we now? We're Thursday. He'll be here on Saturday. Let's hope the sun's out. So, thanks for watching this video. Bye for now.